everybody. Today I am going to talk to you about implementing games in teaching English. I am addressing my speech to newly recruited teachers to talk about the importance of games in teaching English. The first thing that I am going to tackle is the objectives of using games in teaching English. The main important objective of implementing games in teaching English as a foreign language or as a second language is to teach with fun, which means to make the receivers, which are students, like the language. So when you present the language in games, you create competition in your classroom, an atmosphere which is positive, and a good friendship with your students. Types of games that can be implemented are varied, and personally I create these games. For example, I can have a game which includes competition between the different groups of my classes, like groups of boys versus groups of girls, in order to do a task. I can do different tasks according to the target structure that I am teaching. These games can be done in groups or in pairs or as a class. There are many games that you, as a teacher, can practice with your students. The target classes can be Common Core, first year of the bac, or second year of the bac as a high school teacher. But any class can play games. Even if they are adults, you can of course do games for them. There is no age for playing because all of us have a child within. So when you play with the language or use games while teaching, you create a friendly atmosphere in your classroom. You make your learners like the language, and you can of course have the lesson that you want to teach done perfectly. Time of using games. Personally, I use games at the end of the lesson or at the end of a unit in order to consolidate things that I teach. Or whenever I find that students find a difficulty in learning something, I create these games to have a competition and to make them like the language and to make them understand some target structure that I taught before. So there is no time for playing games. There is no specific time. It's according to what comes to my mind. So the important thing in implementing games that any teacher should have is creativity. Personally, sometimes I don't have any idea of mind. It comes to my mind like that, according to the lesson. So for example, from the games I have created, when I taught irregular verbs, I can take divide the class into different groups, and each group has a leader. Each group has a name, and I ask my students to give different names for the groups. For example, hope, dreams, ambition, stars. So they give the name of the group that they like, that they choose themselves. And then I make them have a competition to do a task, either writing short dialogues or learning irregular verbs while eating popcorn, or try to find the names of food I taught them by using a scarf that hides their eyes and just smell the fruit or the vegetable and then give the name. So personally, I don't have any idea in mind in order to play, but just come to me like that, according to the type of the lesson. Benefits of using games in the teaching learning process. There are many benefits, as I have told you: creating friendship, having a good atmosphere, consolidating some of the target structure taught before, having a friendly relationship with my students, and having a good relationship between students themselves. So there are a variety of benefits of using games while teaching. Thanks for watching.